We all move through life playing dual roles, both as observers and as participants, caught in a complex choreography of social exchanges. Much is left unspoken, concealed behind the subtle interplay of facial expressions, gestures, and pauses. Yet each day offers a stage on which truths, sentiments, and hidden struggles are quietly revealed, if we know how to discern them. This skill isn't merely about detecting dishonesty. Rather, it's about understanding the profound, wordless conversations taking place beneath the surface of everyday interactions. By learning to read between the lines, we can forge deeper connections and gain richer insight into the human condition. Today we'll uncover ways to interpret these silent signals, drawing from the timeless guidance of Stoic philosophy. We'll learn to perceive not only the masks people present, but also the genuine selves hidden behind them. Embarking on this journey won't just alter how you view others. It may also transform how you understand yourself. Join me as we learn to look beyond appearances and discover where the truest dialogues begin. If you appreciate our work, I'd ask a small, free favor. Hit the subscribe button and stay with us for this entire exploration. Every moment is filled with insights that might just reshape how you experience the world around you. Let's begin. Tell me more. A simple phrase, tell me more, taps into a fundamental human desire, to be heard, to be fully understood. By using these 3 words, you invite the other person to continue talking without interruption or judgment. This simple shift can dramatically alter how they perceive you, encouraging them to offer not just surface-level facts, but also personal feelings, motivations, and even insecurities. I've found that tell me more doesn't just gather information, it fosters trust. When conversations are tense or personal issues arise, these words act like a soothing balm, showing that you're there to genuinely listen rather than to criticize. Witnessing how the mood changes once someone feels safe enough to open up is remarkable. They reveal not just what they think, but how they think. In business or personal negotiations, this approach can be invaluable. Encouraging elaboration can help you uncover underlying emotional currents and psychological reasons behind a stance. You're not manipulating the situation, you're creating space for honesty. It's about setting aside your own ego and investing in understanding another person's internal landscape. This is the essence of authentic dialogue, seeing and hearing people as they truly are, and thus building connections that have depth and significance. End quote. Observing behavior with no stakes. Pay attention to how someone behaves when they believe it holds no consequence. True character often emerges when individuals don't feel the need to impress or conceal. Consider a coworker who is polite and polished in a meeting room, but becomes curt and domineering once stepping outside. Such shifts in demeanor offer hints about their actual persona, something a professional facade might otherwise mask. What you observe in these low-pressure settings isn't just about how they treat others. It reflects their internal values, insecurities, and self-incent. Someone who consistently treats all people, regardless of status, with kindness, likely values respect and empathy on a fundamental level. Meanwhile, a person whose attitudes vary with perceived social rank may be compensating for internal doubts or striving for control where they feel they can get it. Adopting a mindset of impartial observation helps piece together a more rounded understanding of who someone really is. It's not about judging them harshly, but about gathering insights that might guide how much trust or collaboration you're willing to invest. Essentially, this perspective helps you navigate social waters more wisely, shaping your decisions about working with or confiding in that individual. Past as context. A person's past can serve as a lens rather than a label. Someone who is hesitant to trust may have experienced previous betrayals that taught them to build protective barriers. Another might bristle at even constructive criticism if their earlier life was filled with harsh judgments. Their present behavior is often the imprint of former lessons, fears, and coping strategies. Understanding someone's background doesn't excuse harmful actions, but it can help you comprehend where they're coming from. This perspective fosters empathy and patience. For instance, realizing a coworker's combativeness stems from a history of being undervalued might encourage you to respond with reassurance rather than retaliation. Reassurance might promote pragmatic thinking and help young people to think about why some people might have done something wrong. Mistakes can shape. Recognizing this interplay between past and present isn't just about predicting behavior. It's about compassion. When we remember that today's person is often shaped by yesterday's experiences, we approach them with greater understanding. This understanding can refine our communication approach and strengthen connections as we see beyond current actions to the echoes of their past. Noticing shifts in tone. Sometimes it's not what people say that matters most, but how they say it. Imagine a colleague who usually speaks with confidence but suddenly lowers their voice and stumbles over words when discussing a certain topic. This doesn't automatically mean they're lying, but it might reveal unease or lack of clarity about that subject. Changes in tone often arise involuntarily, reflecting the speaker's internal cognitive load. The more stress they feel, the more likely their speech patterns will betray their discomfort. Sitting too close to the window to see the sky in front of the inn contributes to such uncertainties. Why pay attention to these nuances? Because tone provides context, helping you sense when to ask more questions, offer support, or approach a sensitive issue more gently. By attuning to these vocal cues, you can navigate conversations more skillfully, seeking the truth behind the spoken words and responding with empathy and intelligence. Unobserved moments. True nature often emerges when people think no one is watching. It's in everyday gestures, how they treat service workers when dining alone, how they handle minor inconveniences at the grocery store, or how they interact with animals or children out of public view, that a person's core values reveal themselves. In a crowded party, someone may be gracious and sociable, but their real character might become evident once the guests depart. Do they treat helping staff kindly as they clean up, or do they become dismissive once no one is around to witness their behavior? These quiet episodes shine a light on traits that a polished public persona might keep hidden. This isn't about spying or assigning quick judgment. It's about acknowledging that genuine character is often exposed in unscripted, unguarded moments. By respecting the importance of these glimpses, we gain a more holistic understanding of the individuals in our lives, seeing beyond their carefully curated public image. Emotional reactions as clues. Emotions are the unfiltered responses that slice through a person's outward composure, revealing their true priorities and vulnerabilities. Observing how people react emotionally to good news, bad news, sudden changes can provide profound insight into what matters most to them. Consider a meeting where a new proposal is introduced. One colleague beams with excitement, another sighs with apprehension. These responses hint at underlying values. The excited one may crave innovation and adventure, while the apprehensive one may yearn for stability and clear guidelines. Understanding these emotional triggers helps you communicate more effectively, tailor your approach, and predict how they'll respond to future challenges. Emotional reactions aren't limited to negativity. Joy, enthusiasm, and contentment are equally revealing. When you note what sparks happiness or motivation, you discover what nourishes their spirit. This awareness is key as it enables you to foster rapport, minimize unnecessary conflict, and support them in ways that truly matter. In addition to assessing the quality of the recovery, we should look at all possible ways to benefit the person. Reading body language. Body language is a silent exchange that can say far more than words. Each posture, gesture, or shift in stance is part of a conversation happening beneath the spoken dialogue. Crossed arms might indicate defensiveness, or simply that the room is chilly. A mirrored posture suggests rapport and alignment of interests. The key is context. A single gesture means little alone, but combined with other cues, it forms a cohesive picture. Paying close attention to how someone sits, how they angle their torso, whether they lean in or away, or how they move their hands can reveal their level of comfort, confidence, or openness. Is the person at ease, engaged, receptive, or are they guarded, tense, and resistant? By becoming more attuned to this unspoken language, you learn to pick up on subtle shifts that indicate comfort or discomfort. This knowledge can guide how you interact, whether to proceed, pause, clarify, or reassure, ensuring more harmonious and productive exchanges. The power of eye contact. Eye contact transcends cultural boundaries and personal styles, though its meaning can vary widely from place to place. In many contexts, steady, appropriate eye contact signals engagement, sincerity, and respect. When someone looks you directly in the eyes as you speak, you feel acknowledged, valued, and often more at ease. Conversely, constant avoidance of eye contact might suggest discomfort, distrust, or concealment of true feelings. That said, cultural nuances matter. In some societies, prolonged eye contact is considered confrontational, while in others it is a sign of integrity and interest. By being mindful of these variations, you can interpret eye contact more accurately. It's not just about concluding someone is hiding something if they look away. Rather, it's about understanding their personal and cultural context and what their gaze, or lack thereof, indicates about their comfort and intentions. Listening attentively. The art of listening involves more than just hearing words. It's about fully immersing yourself in what's being said. Good listeners nod at the right times, ask clarifying questions, and reflect back what they've understood. This active engagement signals to the speaker that their thoughts and feelings matter. And when someone truly listens, you feel it. It builds trust, making even difficult conversations more approachable. On the other hand, half-hearted listening, frequent interruptions, lack of follow-up questions, failure to remember previous discussions, suggests that the listener values their own viewpoint more than yours, or that their attention is scattered elsewhere. By observing how someone listens, you glean insights into their respect for others, their willingness to invest time in deeper understanding, and the quality of the relationship they're willing to build. Skilled listening fosters closeness and can encourage mutual openness, strengthening the bonds between individuals. Avoiding questions. Bondage and captivity. When a person skillfully dances around certain inquiries, it's a clue they may be guarding something, be it a painful memory, a sensitive detail, or an issue they'd rather not confront. They might offer superficial answers, shift topics, or respond vaguely. Blood-soaked. Yet question avoidance need not be about deception. It can also stem from cultural norms that discourage directness, personal insecurities, or the desire to protect someone else's privacy. Recognizing when someone sidesteps a question can prompt you to approach the topic more gently, respect their boundaries, or perhaps reconsider how much honesty you can expect. And in trust-dependent scenarios, like negotiations or personal relationships, this awareness becomes crucial. By spotting consistent avoidance, You're alerted to probe delicately or adjust your expectations regarding authenticity and openness. Aha states, overjustification. Overjustification occurs when someone provides overly detailed explanations or defenses even before anyone challenges them. It's as if they are fortifying their statement or decision with unnecessary reinforcements, often signaling an underlying uncertainty or fear of disbelief. The reasons behind this behavior vary. Maybe they've grown accustomed to scrutiny, or they're used to environments where everything must be justified. While overjustification can hint at insecurity, not everyone who speaks extensively is trying to hide something. Some people naturally communicate in great detail. By noticing this pattern, you can adapt your approach. You might offer reassurance that they don't need to overprove themselves, or you might gently ask more targeted questions to understand why they're so eager to justify their stance. Through empathy and curiosity, these interactions can transition from guarded monologues to more balanced dialogues. Defensiveness. Defensiveness arises when someone feels threatened, cornered, or exposed. This can manifest as hostile rebuttals, sarcastic deflections, or laughter that trivializes a serious issue. The underlying message is often, "I'm not comfortable revealing more," or "I won't acknowledge a vulnerability." In personal relationships, persistent defensiveness can hint at unresolved issues or lingering fears. Identifying this pattern encourages you to approach sensitive subjects more gently, or to step back and allow them space before addressing it again. Interpreting defensiveness calls for caution. Instead of labeling someone as combative, consider what might have made them feel vulnerable. By adjusting your tone, timing, or approach, you may transform a tense conversation into a pathway for understanding and growth. Sharing personal stories. When someone offers a piece of their personal history, whether a joyful memory or a painful chapter, they're extending trust. Stories break down barriers and add depth to interactions, transforming casual acquaintances into people who know each other's backgrounds and emotions. It's not just a good story, it's having a bridge, an emotional wall. This sharing isn't merely small talk, it's often a bid for connection, common ground, or empathy. A colleague who recounts a challenging childhood event over coffee may be signaling their readiness to move from transactional interactions to genuine rapport. However, context matters. If someone's personal stories appear out of place or overdramatic, it could mean they're attempting to manipulate the mood or steer attention away from something else. Observe how and when these narratives emerge. If well-timed and sincere, they can anchor a bond. If forced or strangely placed, they may serve another, less transparent purpose. Consistency in narratives. Repeated storytelling reveals more than just interesting anecdotes. It's a measure of truth and reliability. Memories can shift with time, but when core elements of a story remain consistent, it bolsters credibility and trustworthiness. Conversely, ever-changing facts or emotional responses may raise doubts. This isn't to say that any variation signals a lie. People do reinterpret events as their understanding evolves, but if critical details frequently fluctuate, it may mean the person tailors their story to each audience or conceals aspects they'd rather remain hidden. In personal and professional realms, consistent accounts strengthen trust. When inconsistencies arise, approach with curiosity rather than accusation. A question like, "Last time you mentioned something different. Could you clarify?" both acknowledges you've been paying attention and invites them to reconcile the discrepancies. Respecting boundaries. Boundaries define what we find acceptable or comfortable in interactions. Respecting these limits, asking before delving into personal matters, honoring a no, or changing the subject when someone seems uneasy, demonstrates care, empathy, and emotional intelligence. This respect sets the stage for safe, honest communication. It enables all parties to feel valued and at ease. On the flip side, consistently overstepping someone's boundaries signals a disregard for their comfort and autonomy and gives them the misunderstanding that they are out of control and are needed to be controlled. Healthy boundary setting occurs when all of us feel. When someone respects your boundaries, it affirms that they see you as an individual deserving of consideration. Conversely, understanding others' boundaries and adhering to them fosters mutual trust. Observing how a person handles these lines can guide how deeply you engage and how much trust you place in that relationship. Handling criticism. Receiving criticism gracefully is a mark of maturity and adaptability. Observe how someone responds when challenged or corrected. Those who listen carefully, ask questions, and genuinely consider the feedback show emotional stability and a commitment to learning. If someone consistently denies mistakes, blames others, or reacts with anger when faced with constructive comments, it may suggest insecurity or an unwillingness to grow. This can create tension and stall improvement in personal and professional spheres. Criticism isn't pleasant, but it's often a gateway to better performance and stronger relationships. Those who handle it well foster an environment of openness and progress. Their willingness to learn from setbacks instead of lashing out is a positive indicator of their character and long-term potential. Humor as a window. Humor can smooth over friction, forge connections, or diffuse tension. If wielded wisely, a well-timed joke can ease awkwardness or stress, revealing a keen awareness of social dynamics. But humor can also serve as a shield, deflecting uncomfortable truths or steering attention away from sensitive topics. Note how someone employs humor. If they always turn serious moments into a punchline, it might indicate discomfort with vulnerability or difficulty in addressing serious issues. Sarcasm, too, can be a form of hidden hostility, while gentle self-mockery can signal humility and approachability. States are not merely places. They constantly invoke symbols of self-healing, restoration, or growth. By understanding why and when someone uses humor, you can gauge their comfort levels, emotional intelligence, and readiness for honest discussion. If humor is skillfully integrated to enhance understanding rather than evade it, it can strengthen bonds and improve rapport. Our creative commonalities here. Gauging apology sincerity. The apology conveys more than regret. It reflects character and integrity. A sincere apology acknowledges harm, accepts responsibility without excuses, and indicates a willingness to prevent a recurrence. Actions following the apology are as crucial as the words themselves, demonstrating genuine commitment to making things right. In contrast, half-hearted apologies use language like, "I'm sorry if you felt that way," shifting blame onto the offended party. Or they skim past the incident, eager to move on without true resolution, suggesting a lack of remorse or accountability. Observing the quality of an apology can shape your trust in the person. A heartfelt, proactive attempt to mend harm can fortify a relationship, while a superficial one might leave lingering doubts and unresolved tension. Promises and follow-through. In consistency, promises are verbal commitments that shape expectations and trust. When a person keeps their word, whether it's meeting a deadline or attending a friend's event, they demonstrate reliability and respect for others' time and hopes. Consistently fulfilling promises builds a strong foundation of trust and credibility. Frequent failures to follow through, however, erode confidence and create uncertainty. Are they disorganized, overburdened, or do they simply not value the relationship enough to honor their commitments? Understanding these factors helps manage your expectations. By paying attention to how consistently promises are met, You learn who you can depend on. This knowledge influences how much trust, responsibility, or emotional investment you place in them, both personally and professionally. Embracing new experiences. Openness to new ideas, cuisines, cultures, or technologies reveals a person's adaptability and curiosity. It suggests they embrace learning and personal growth, qualities that enrich their lives and the lives of those around them. They continue to enhance both present and future vitality. Exploration fantasies, novels and stories. Animates behaviors and fantasy traits that reveal themselves as kind. Watch how they respond when invited to try something unfamiliar. Do they show enthusiasm and wonder, or retreat to old comforts? Those who approach novelty with balanced eagerness and caution often possess the flexibility needed to thrive in a changing world. One reason that people like to experience new things in life so much is because it provides an opportunity for the same stretches of time that make life fun. Nurturing openness in yourself and encouraging it in others can lead to shared discoveries, fresh perspectives, and deeper bonds. This willingness to step into the unknown can transform ordinary interactions into journeys of exploration, increasing mutual understanding and empathy.